Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another co-author interview. I have my dear friend Rose here. Um, I have so much love in my heart right now for you, Rose, and the work that you're doing, and this beautiful story that you have written as a co-author of Drops of Wisdom, Points of Power. The title of your story is, or your chapter, you get a whole chapter, right?
Yeah.
The Unity of Three, Scent, Acupoint, and Sound. And the sound part really resonated with me because you're the only chapter that has invited sound in here to layer with this beautiful modality. And I think that's really interesting to the reader. So, in the beginning, I don't know if you have your story opened there in front of you, but you have three or four different lines there. And I think it would be really beautiful if you could read those four lines. Do you have it open?
No.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to read it?
Sure.
Okay. So it starts out awakened, the scent to awaken what lies in our subconscious. A touch to an acupoint awakens with intentional flow. A tone to awaken the essence of our spirit and soul. This is the unfolding of my practice with scent, acupoint, and sound. Ooh. That just makes you want to crawl into that story and really feel all the feels and feel the vibration of sound and oil to point. But you started out this journey not as the nurse that you are, or the aromatherapy practitioner that you are, clinical aromatherapist, in fact. You started out as a runner. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I started running, and I never knew how running became a healer for me as well. But running actually introduced me to essential oils with over-the-counter preparations. So,
Mhm.
like over-the-counter roll-ons, on my musculature. And I was like, oh, this really like works. Like it's really doing the job. Wow, what's in this? I can't help it. I'm very curious. So I'm like, oh, okay. I need to learn about that menthol that's in there. I need to learn about arnica. I need to learn more about the constituents of the products that I was using, which led me to become a clinical aromatherapist, to study the actual plant energetics. Because I felt relief, with these preparations. And then I got into studying um, the essential oils and then started to apply them on my muscles, tendons, not knowing any acupoints at all, but feeling relief when as once you read my story, when I reflect back, oh, the specific points and what they were and how they do release, right? But a lot of my story is a reflection back because intuitively I was called like to use the oils on specific points. And with the response of the body, I knew I had to learn more. And that's why I advanced my studies in aromatics to the clinical aromatherapy level to really understand the chemistry. I'm a nerd like that. I really just love science and I love to connect the body with what I'm either ingesting or applying.
Absolutely. And you grew up, you have this Puerto Rican Hungarian background. So
Hungarican, yes.
Hungarian, yes. So when you were growing up, you were exposed to a lot of scents, whether it was a spice or a salve or something like that. So it was sort of ingrained in you from childhood.
Right, reflecting back, right? Not knowing, obviously, when growing up, but the rituals that were done with like the menthols and the plantain and not realizing it till recently, I want to say within the last 5 years, really. Um, wow, they all come together, right? They just all, I guess, it keeps unfolding and you keep awakening and you keep reflecting back and like, yeah, that's why I love the scent of menthol. It always creates an internal hug for me, right? Um, just like eucalyptus, the 1.8 cineal, right? That's in the Vicks Vapor Rub.
Mhm.
Um, that brings me way back to when I was a young child because in Puerto Rico, they had specific blends like Vicks that had that scent, and it was always comforting. And it was applied everywhere. It was the cure-all for a pimple, for a rash, for a cold, even if you felt good. And I actually do this with my mom, who's 93.
Oh.
I put it on her at night to
Mm.
help complete the day. So it's a full circle um, in using the practice and the scent.
That's a beautiful ritual to really feel like you come full circle to give that comfort then to your mother who,
Gave it to
you got
me.
received it as a child. So
Yeah.
beautiful. I want to read a little excerpt from your story and then talk about it. You say, curiosity led me to become a certified clinical aromatherapist. This advanced level of aromatics introduced the importance of chemical composition and plant energetics on the nervous system. This knowledge, combined with my nursing background in critical care, began the unfolding. And those are the three words that really caught me. Essential oils became my restorative support for degrees of internal shedding of emotional states that would arise within the mind, body, and spirit. So let's talk about this unfolding and this internal shedding that you've then created in your practice.
Yes. So learning about, and I'll hold up like my little prop because I can't help it. I take it to all my workshops
Oh,
and I teach every participant in my workshops how essential oils are actually created and the importance of the distillation and the product, not only the oil, but of the water, right? The hydrosol. So once I was able to learn the different um, distillation products of the plant, then I started to apply them on certain points.
mm,
Actually, we'll start from the beginning. Once I began to just inhale them,
mm,
certain oils just spoke very loudly.
mm,
Um, and one that has always been my rescuer, and I tell many people this is helichrysum. Uh, I just feel that it's such a special oil that it will be on my body as a tattoo as well, because it is a healer of emotional and physical trauma. And my body, the first time I smelt it, reacted and I started crying when I smelled it for the first time. That's how powerful they are. And it's so hard to explain to someone. And that's why I love doing workshops, because in my workshops, I remove the sight with inhalation. So everyone in my workshop is blindfolded for inhalation. So they can focus on the sensation of the smell within the body.
mm,
And I let them experience that. I never tell them what the oil is or how it smells or what they should feel because we all feel it differently, right? And some
mhm,
may like it, some may not. So I always ask the participants to wait till everyone, I give them a good 2 minutes, 3 minutes, depending on the oil, to kind of just feel, and then we share. And that's basically how I learned to experience the oils when I was taught. And so that's how I teach in my workshops so
Hmm.
that they really get a deep sense of that connection. And then I applied the AcuAroma, aroma points came into play. Um, with your studies because I was really skeptical. I was like, what? Acupoints? I had heard about it. I kind of sort of knew a little. I know acupoints, but essential oils on acupoints, go, well, that kind of makes sense. Um, and then once I started studying with you, there was no turning back. I just had to keep moving forward, and I incorporated AcuAroma, the points, into my inhalation workshops.
Mm.
And that was just beautiful
So
because
they're
then
smelling it first,
you're smelling.
blindfolded,
Yeah.
and then they put it on a point.
Right. So they smell it, they experience the hydrosol and the oil. The hydrosol, um, I explain that it doesn't have the same type of a scent, but it still has the same energetic properties, right? Because it's lighter. Because many people don't like essential oils. They're too strong, so they prefer the hydrosols. And then I teach the acupoints.
I love that you're bringing the hydrosols into your workshops
Uh-huh. Yeah,
because I
it's
think
very
the
important.
hydrosols are so uh, not really misunderstood, but dismissed.
Hmm.
Many of the manufacturers are discarding the water hydrolat uh,
Yes.
and not using it. So bravo. I'm a distiller, so I know the value of that. So thank you.
Yeah, it's so important, especially like for children, right? It's safe to use for children, many of them, and for pets. The hydrosol is so beautiful to use, and all other ways we can use hydrosols. I always give out that information as well.
Mhm.
So then I started to incorporate how to identify specific acupoints. And then I'll focus, some of my workshops may focus on anxiety. And this was like a really powerful workshop. This is when I knew that the essential oil and the acupoint workshops will be forever my way of teaching
Mhm.
because I could see the participants, I could feel that silence and recognize that connection when they felt it in the class without them saying anything. I
Mhm.
could see it on their faces when I was showing how to work with um the heart meridian, heart seven, the spirit guide.
Yeah,
Yes.
right here.
And you know, I could see their facial expressions. And I said, this is excellent. This is a point that they will have in their wellness toolbox to take with them. And they can use this at work, when they're at dinner, when they're meeting with family, whatever circumstance it is that may produce a little anxiety. It's right there. It's right at your fingertips, right? It's right there. And yeah, so it just sent me on another journey. And then I also then started incorporating megahertz with the nervous system and sound.
Yes, you have a place in your story, another little section that kind of caught my eye, where you say the ritual of sounds nightly at 7 p.m. by the people of New York City.
Ah,
Yeah,
during COVID, yeah, another reflection, another reflection. How important sound is to the body for acknowledgement. During that time, it was the sound of people cheering and bells ringing every time, every night at 7 p.m.
this was during COVID.
Yeah, during COVID, people had bells and everything would stop outside New York City and you would hear claps, cheering, bells, and oh, I still have my bell.
Oh,
Um, so yeah,
that's beautiful. So you incorporate sound. This is
yes.
the scent, the acupoint, and the sound. So how does
Mhm.
that play into the session or the workshop then?
It really is a beautiful unfolding, like you had mentioned earlier. Um, I started then incorporating meditation. a meditation piece, half-hour meditation after we would do the practice of inhalation and application. And the participants just kept asking for more. At first, it was 15 minutes,
Mhm.
then it became 20, now it's 30 minutes, and it may just be a separate entity. I don't know, but it just keeps unfolding. And I started looking into um the frequency of plants, where some people will poo-poo it. But everything has a frequency because we're all energy. So I started playing different frequencies that are associated with the nervous system to help calm and regulate an anxiety states. So like 432 megahertz, 435 megahertz. So I play different instruments. I don't play sound bowls. I do more of chimes. I do shells. I use the ocean drum. So I incorporate all this and everyone is blindfolded. They're blindfolded. So I have this thing with blindfolds, everyone says, but they have experienced different blindfolds. For our relaxation portion, they're weighted blindfolds in zero gravity chairs. And I play mostly instrumental, and then I'll play a song or two to begin and end the session that really speaks to the spirit to help release. So
I
that is
feel
really
like,
the flow.
yes, I feel like what happens after you do the oil on the acupoint, when you start playing the sound, your chi and the energetic resonance of this oil get to sort of dance together in the frequency that you're playing.
Mhm.
Am I on the right track?
That's exactly it. I didn't say that. It will depend on the class and the focus. So sometimes I will not use the acupoints that were actually taught to apply the oil. And I'll always ask permission. Many times I will ask if it's okay for to use yin tang, the third eye
Mhm,
point. And sometimes it's just the inhalation itself
mhm.
of the oil experience. I'll always teach with one oil, but three varieties of that oil. So let's say eucalyptus, it will be three different varieties of eucalyptus. And
Beautiful.
then we will pick one of the eucalyptus. Well, I will pick, they usually agree, on the scent. And, they can experience it. Sometimes we make a product like an inhaler, or sometimes it's just passed on a wick so they can experience it that way or on yin tang. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
It's always different. And because I am a nurse and I love science, I always have to put some science, if it is available, research that has been done on the specific plant.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Mm.
That's so helpful. It not only grows this body of knowledge, but teaches people how to safely use the oils in their own practice.
Yes.
Now,
Mhm.
your story, throughout your story, we will have diagrams of the points and the oils that you've mentioned throughout your story. So it'll be very interactive and people can learn how to locate these points you're talking about and how to start their own practice.
Yes.
So, in the YouTube upload, we will put connections to how people can get in touch with you and learn more about your programs. I know you're still located in New York State, correct?
Correct.
Yes. So,
Correct. But I think everyone should try AcuAroma. It's a meeting point. It's science, it's intuition, it works with the body's own intelligence. You
yeah,
don't have to understand it. And sometimes it's enough just to pause, breathe, and let the body respond,
I
right?
love that pause. I think we need to do more of the pausing these days, don't you?
Yes, yes.
Well, I am delighted for you to be a co-author in this beautiful book, along with all of the other incredible souls who are represented here, and we look forward to publishing in just a few weeks. So be
Very
sure.
excited to spread the word and the knowledge because so many people are seeking and they need to know that there are alternative ways to help their body regulate with the plants that are around us every day.
Absolutely. Reflecting, coming full circle. Thank
Yes.
you so much, Rose, and I look forward to uh, seeing you in print very soon.